Yo, welcome to the South Pod, where we break down the stats, the numbers, and the storylines of the NFC South. My name is Corey. We're gonna talk about what happened in Week 1, but before we dive into that, let me tell you, we're gonna introduce the crew. I got my boy Telly, my boy Rich Wallace, and my boy Will. A little bit about us, though. All four of us are Marines, so we got all individual stories or whatever. But our paths always cross throughout our years in the Marine Corps. So that's how we came about this podcast. We was just sitting around. I was talking to Telly one day, and I told him, I said, "Hey, let's put a podcast together for our NFC South because ain't nobody doing it like we do." So that's what we did. But yeah, we've been friends for a while. I joined the Marine Corps in '96. Did 26 years, served my time, and I got out and I retired. And the rest is history as far as that's concerned. You'll learn a bit more about my personality as we continue on in the podcast. How you feeling, Taylor?
What's up? What's up, everybody? Like Corey said, we all served the Marine Corps, met each other different times throughout our career, but glad to have served with these brothers. I did 20 years, got out in 2013 and doing my thing. Always been a big fan of sports. Played football and basketball while I was in the Marine Corps. So this is just continued love. We've been talking trash to each other for a long time. So why not do something like this? Bring y'all into some of our conversations. Keep it real. As Corey would say, keep it a buck. Are you Rich?
Hey, what's going on, people? I'm Darren Richardson. Just like these other three brothers, I did 30 years in the Marine Corps. Just like Telly, play football and basketball in the Marine Corps. Telly and I served some time over in Afghanistan together. And we used to get out there on that court and bust some dudes up. And just like everybody else, I'm passionate about it. Love the shit talking and, the competitive spirit and stuff. And we got a great show for you guys week in and week out. Over to you, Will.
What's up, y'all? What's happening? Will, a.k.a. Kratos the God, served with these fine fellows in the Marine Corps, man, and enjoyed every minute of it. My biggest accomplishment, or one of the best decisions I ever made, was to join the Marine Corps. I spent 20 years in the Marine Corps from Opelousas, Louisiana, a little country boy. So played with Telly. Basketball.
Pause.
Gotta love it. Played basketball with Telly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Played basketball with Telly. Played football in Maryland as well. Had the opportunity to have some fun with y'all. Linked up with everybody. Love y'all fellas, bro. Love the Marine Corps and what it's done for us. We met some great people, especially you all, man. Brothers from another mother. So
Absolutely.
that's the story.
Facts. All right, fellas. So week 1 is down. Last week, man, we talked about what should be. Everybody gave their predictions and everything like that. But my goodness, man, what a week 1. Yeah. So you know what? I'm not even gonna start with us, man. I'm gonna start with probably a team that for a lot of analysts in the NFL, and including probably us on this screen, man. We're gonna give credit where credit is due. The Tampa Bay Bucks, man, they came out, did the dang on thing. So Baker went 24 for 30, 289 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no INTs. Tampa's rushing game, 112 yards. Rushing. Bucky came out, did his thing. And White, did his thing in the both the receiving and rushing game. Thank you. So Corey, question to you is, which of those must happen in the second week for you all to have a win over Detroit?
Yeah, Detroit is that's gonna be a real game right there. I think week 1 was a lie because we all know everybody ain't really who they said they were in week 1. So I know you do. I know you do. Hey, so we gonna chalk week 1 up as okay. we see what you can do or what can possibly be going on later on in the season. Let's see if you can continue it. Detroit, they got Detroit by 7.5. I think that's the last time I checked. 0.75. If we can sustain the running game like we did against Washington, I think we're gonna be in this mug to the end. And if we catch them slipping, it's gonna be a problem for them. I expect us to at least compete because our secondary got hit with that injury bug hard. Oh my God. It was at one point Mike Evans even said on the sideline he wanted to play corner. He asked coach, did he go in? Bro, we was getting hurt, man. I'm like, they dropping like flies. McCullum concussion, Hall broke his ankle. Another one of our corners went out. Then Winfield, highest paid safety, he went out. I gotta admit, I didn't at the beginning of the week I didn't feel too confident going into Detroit. But we went back and signed this cornerback that we had named Isaac. He played in the preseason. I thought he was gonna make the team. Yeah. Boy, had about 4 interceptions in preseason. He was balling. So they brought him back up from the practice squad. So we gonna see what happens.
All right, cool. So over to my Saints, my big Saints fan, Big Will.
Yes, sir.
Similar impressive weekend, man. Derek Carr, 19 for 23, 200 yards, passing, 3 touchdowns. They had 180 yards rushing. Y'all attack was pretty much balanced. It seemed. I'm not sure if that was the scheme or that's just what Carolina allowed y'all to do. I'm not sure which one it is. But,
Carolina didn't show up, Telly. Carolina didn't know it was a game.
So Will, which of those stats will be closer this week than with your next opponent?
So
y'all playing them things.
Playing them boys.
Them things. I
ain't
calling
girls or whatever you want to call them.
Cheerleaders.
Yeah. I would say if Carr continues to play like he did with a couple of passes and we keep that ball on the ground like we did, we're gonna because we did good running. We did good running, we did good passing.
Right.
And Carolina Panthers, they didn't get He-Man to turn him into to Battle Cat, so now he's still Cringer.
Yeah.
I gotta throw that shot out there. I gotta throw that shot out there, man. Because you talk, hey, D, you talk mad cash trash, bro. You talk mad cash trash. So I'm gonna throw my little jab, but then I'm gonna back off because, like I said, anything can happen in football.
Facts.
Anything can happen. But honestly, if we played like we played against Carolina on Dallas, then we stand a chance. And I will say this again, I'm gonna go by 3, even though it was 37. But it was a 3 in that D.
It was some 3s now, right?
But, I honestly think if we played the game that we played against Carolina with our defense and our offense, we going and this game is going to actually show and tell.
True.
This game is going to show and tell.
Yeah.
I think
y'all got Dallas. Y'all got Dallas.
Yeah,
we got Dallas.
I think for both you and Corey, that's. I mean, for all 3 of us, the teams that we play next is going to be, really going to be hard, tough fought games. And if I'm not mistaken, we all play on the road.
Yep.
Yeah. So, all right. So over you to Mr. Rich, Bryce Young, man. Young fella had a hard day. 13 for 30, 161 yards, 2 INTs, no touchdowns, and the team had 58 yards rushing. The team had 58.
Hey, like Will said. Hey, like Will said, Cringer showed up instead of Battle Cat. That's what it's about. But man, one of the things I can't help but think is like, when is this young guy's actually going to develop into the quarterback that we actually drafted? Bryce Young was actually known for his ability to process his things between the ears and utilize his brains to actually recognize coverages and stuff like that. And he ain't doing it. How in the hell you let a cornerback, without reading his coverage, get 3 sacks? A cornerback is leading the league right now in sacks. How does that actually happen? So at some point, man, you have to see that growth as a quarterback and a maturity level to be able to actually recognize those schemes and pick up those actually blitz packages and make better decisions. The only saving grace for fantasy owner, he scored a rushing touchdown, but other than that, it was a very dismal game, man, and it makes you actually wonder as a Panthers fans, like, here we go again. What are we actually going to do to actually improve? And honestly, at this juncture, man, I don't even know. I'm at a loss, honestly.
So looking at your opponent, you're playing the Chargers this week. You got the college coach Jim Harbaugh. You know, he's known for turning teams around, doing big things. I think he has a great record in open the season up, but his second games they usually show a little cracks in his metal. So the Chargers gave up 71 yards rushing and 225 yards passing. Which of those do you think the Carolina Panthers can beat? Can they match or beat either one of those stats?
Well, what they have to do, because they have to have improvement, has to start at the quarterback. Bryce Young got to be able to actually pass that ball down the field effectively. You got to have your receivers get more than 3 and 4 receptions, which, Leggett, the rookie, had 4 receptions. Adam Thielen, the old guy, had 3 receptions. But you got to do better on that aspect for us to actually even have a chance. And one of the things that actually probably going to hurt us a little bit, looking at how the Chargers rushed, we lost Derrick Brown for the season.
Ooh.
We lost him for the season. So that's an integral part, and nobody else stepped up. Javion Clowney didn't step up, nobody else. So, with DB out for the season, that's going to be actually uphill challenge too, man. If the Chargers can rush the ball like they did, I'm going to call them the Baltimore Ravens forward, because that's where the running back just came from, Gus Edwards and, Dobbins. So, but everything starts with Bryce Young, man. I keep saying the young guy got to perform. You drafted for your accuracy, your ability to actually process the field accurately and quickly, and he's not doing that at all.
Facts. All right, so I'm gonna talk quickly about my Falcons. Kirk Cousins, 16 for 26, 155 yards, 1 touchdown and 2 INTs and a fumble. The team as a whole had 89 yards rushing. We gave up 133 yards passing, 137 yards rushing, and no touchdowns, and 6 field goals, which is ridiculous. My thing going forward is I didn't have a problem with the defense because the offense didn't do anything. Too many 3 and outs. And they kind of, even at the fourth quarter, 5 minutes left in the game, I'm looking up the clock. I'm like, if we make this stop right here, then we'll be good. And they had, got a 3 and out against the Steelers and got us good field position. And second play, this clown throw an interception. I was just too through with this guy. And so, my thing is our offense has to be better than it was last week. We're going into Philly. Philly going to run the ball. We had the same problem we had this weekend. We have a quarterback that got a good arm and he used his legs. They got a great offensive line. Now, the only advantage I see is that they have a, new starting center but he did pretty well considering. Now he's no Kelsey, which is great for us because one of our strengths on defense is in the middle. So I think our defense did great, but our offense definitely has to put some pressure on Philadelphia for it to even be close to the game. We might get ran out of Philly real quick. So that's my thing on that. All right. So continue with a recap of week 1. Back to the Bucks. Who's your best and worst player? Who's the best and worst player from your opinion that's not on your team from week 1? Who's the best and worst player? This is your opportunity to talk trash and give a little kudos.
From the Commanders?
No, not the team you play. Just in the NFC South, who's the best player that's not on your team and the worst player that's on your team?
He's not going to answer that.
Hey,
challenge.
The best player not on my team,
not on your team. In the NFC South, week 1.
Grady Jarrett, he balled.
Okay,
he was doing it.
Worst player.
So kudos to Telly's them line, defensive line. That was man. I was watching, paying attention. Worst player, it ain't even a player, it's a team. We're gonna leave it at that, man. It's not even a player. Come on, man. Let's keep it a buck. Carolina did not keep it a buck. They were the worst. Look, because my prediction was we get 2 in the NFC playoffs. We get 2 out of our conference. Right. This is that year. That's gonna happen. Yeah. Carolina, we know it definitely won't be you. And then I blame it on y'all.
Hurt my feelings. I got a drink for that.
Hey, he not drinking, he gulping.
I blame it on your coach. Everything is new. He was okay as a coordinator, but he wasn't proven, which is why. And I'm not even being butthurt because he left us. I'm just saying that was your first gig as an OC. You made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
What makes you think you're ready to be a head coach when you couldn't even control your side of the ball? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Now you going to control the whole team. Yeah.
All right. So Carolina, same question. Best player not on your team. That's easy. And worst player not on your team. That's probably the hardest part for you.
Okay, so I'll say the best player that's not on our team. I'm gonna go with the Bucks, and I'm gonna go with Rashard White. He didn't actually do the rushing numbers, but what he did from the receiving end, that's actually a big deal. He had 6 receptions for 75 yards. That's huge, even though Bucky, had the yards on the ground. But when you think about what Rashard White did last year, and what he's capable of, that was probably the best player I saw that didn't have a stats from any of the teams this past week.
Right.
Yeah.
Worst player that's not on my team. Hell. I'm gonna go with the Saints mascot. So that's it. He was the way he's supposed to.
It's their mascot.
Hey, them shots keep coming up. Boom, boom.
Hey, Will, you notice I didn't even mention your team and y'all won. I ain't even mention y'all.
Nah. And I'm not gonna mention y'all right now either because
hey, it's all good though. It's all good.
For me, like I said, starting the thing out, man, I'm gonna give Baker his flowers. Baker played well week 1. Led the league. I think his passer ratings of 146 or something like that. So he led the NFL in passer rating this first week. So kudos to him. Worst player. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to pick on the young man in Carolina, Bryce Young, man. Being an SEC fan myself, I saw what that kid can do in Alabama, and I tell you, I was scared for like what team he was gonna go to when he went to NFL because I said if he goes to a team that has a line, that has any kind of talent on it, he's gonna be a problem because he processes stuff. He's a smart kid.
Yeah,
he's tough, and he doesn't get shook by the moment because playing in Alabama, playing in the SEC, you're playing some big games on the big stages, and that kid never faltered. And no time I watched him play. So I blame, probably the Carolina organization for not, going out and doing a better job, getting him a better coach.
The right pieces around. Yeah.
Right.
So, and just a caveat about that, Telly, I said it earlier about, his ability coming out of Alabama to process things and be able to actually recognize, defensive coverages and schemes. And one of the things starting off already this year, we were second in sacks last year. He got sacked 4 times in this game. I mean, some of that his fault too, but come on, man. Y'all gotta do better, man. He was already sacked 4 times in the first game. First play of the game, he threw an interception. We gotta do a better job.
And he only 13 pounds, so you gotta say that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't get great.
All right, Will, what you got?
All right. I'm gonna go with Josh Allen because he led them boys back to win.
And he ain't in the South.
He ain't in the South, bro.
Nah.
Because I don't want to give none of y'all props. I'm like Kool-Aid.
I Flag on the play.
Hey, no. Saints don't come to act.
So the best player
Yep.
was Carolina quarterback for throwing it to us.
Yeah.
Hey, I was just saying.
He kept y'all in the game, bro.
Hey, what? Thank you. Young.
MVP.
Oh, what?
MVP, boy.
All right, so who's your worst?
Worst, bro. Atlanta, y'all let me down.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Let me
Bro,
down too.
I'm looking like, is this the same team we was talking about a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, man.
Seriously, I was like, what the cuss, bro? Like,
Man, listen. Atlanta is going to be fine.
Mhm.
Kirk is rusty, even though he concerns me back there because it don't look like he can move. It don't look like he can move.
That part.
But
I think he's scared.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Rich, that's what I'm about to say. Once you're gonna see a different Kirk this week. You're gonna see a different one. I don't know who we're throwing it to though, because I'm not a believer in the outside weapons other than Pitts. But
one thing for sure, you got to keep your eyes open. I don't know if y'all saw that play. He didn't even have his eyes open.
Facts. Yeah,
somebody
he had his eyes open.
Somebody open.
A few eyes.
The defense had their eyes open.
Yeah. Now you saw. Y'all probably saw me put on my Facebook. I was like, Kirk needed to play all preseason because obviously he knows that his teammates work. He kept going to the other team before every game. So, so rolling into week 2 predictions. So this is how we're gonna do this. We're gonna do predictions later on in the show, obviously, like we always do. So this prediction is gonna be this. In week 2, we're gonna start with the Saints. Will your bad habits carry over to week 2?
Yes. I was, man, you know what pissed me off, honestly, with the Saints? The late hits. We got to cut that shit out. Seriously, we got to cut. We did some, other than the late hits, I like what we did, but that penalties, man. Penalties can mess over a team.
So you're scared that your team's gonna carry them late hits and bad and get y'all too many penalties into the next game with Dallas.
We can't afford penalties, especially playing with Dallas.
Facts. Not in Dallas, you can't.
No, don't.
Not in Jerry world.
Ooh,
no.
So stopping Dak or putting pressure on Dak, because when you put pressure on Dak, what's gonna happen? So that's going to be the biggest thing for us.
For sure.
Pull off the W. And I will say again, by 3.
So do you believe your success is going to carry over? The things that you did well against Carolina, you think you can do well against Dallas?
If we play like we played against Carolina, I feel that we can pull off another W.
So remember I told you y'all stats. Y'all had 200 yards passing and 180 yards rushing. That's almost a well-balanced offense. So you're saying is that you're going to have a well-balanced offense going against Dallas next week.
Yes.
All right.
I think yes.
All right. So I'll go next. For me, my bad habits, I pray they don't carry over to next week. Our bad habits are turning the ball over.
Yeah.
I think if we don't turn the ball over, Pittsburgh has 6 to 9 less points than they had, and we made it an ugly, murky game and probably won 10-9. Who knows? But turnovers killed us in that game, so I hope those bad habits don't go over. The successful things that we did well, I talked about already, our defense. I think our defense, that will carry over. I think they'll get better. Thank God we stay healthy on both sides of the ball. So I hope that happens. So moving to the Bucs, what you got for?
Due to the lack of participation from the Redskins, the Commanders. I'm sorry. My assessment is kind of, I'm gonna say, capitalize on missed opportunities, if that makes sense.
Right.
Or whatever, because the Commanders didn't really give me too much look at. We playing Detroit next week. Golf ain't a scrambler, so we don't have to worry about that. So if he was a scrambler, I said we really need to work on our containment because Jaden Daniels was getting outside. He rushed for 80 yards, but we're not going to face another quarterback like that this season. I don't believe, other than Mahomes. So I would say play another mistake-free game, and we'll be okay. Bring that to the next game.
So one thing that they talked about for y'all, and I know you tracking this and paying attention to it. So you talked about this last week on the podcast about y'all running the ball effectively on early downs. So y'all averaged 3.7 yards per carry this week, and last year I think you was at 3.6. So improvement, but
I'm impressed with the new offensive line we got too. They gelling, and it's looking good. Baker got hurt a couple of times, but like you said, Taylor, the run game. As far as I see if we can bring that type of run game along with our pass game to Detroit, it's gonna be trouble. I don't need the defense to be dominant. I just need them to show up, and when it's time to make that key stop, make it.
all right.
And then I got trust in the offense that we can pull it off.
Yeah, don't be careful about them Lions. They showed everybody on TV I can play bully ball. And they just bullied the heck out of whatchamacallit all the way down the dang on field. Ooh, that was ugly. That was ugly.
And then y'all know, hey, Rich, guess who the corner is that's gonna be guarding Mike when we play Detroit?
Who?
Carlton
boy,
Davis.
that got cut.
Carlton Davis.
Oh,
Carlton Davis.
lunchtime.
Man, this is gonna be fun.
All right, Rich, what you got, Rich? Bad habits, success, carry over.
Well, hopefully none of the bad habits, just like you, and hopefully none of the bad habits, man, actually go into the next game because we really can't actually afford it. You can't have the turnovers. You can't start off the game turning over the ball. You got to protect the quarterback. You can't allow 4 sacks. You can't allow Joey Bosa and those boys to eat up Bryce Young. He may not last throughout the season. There was nothing good in that game. Nothing. Not even from a leadership standpoint. So hopefully somebody in that huddle step up from a leadership perspective, man, and step out on that field and demand something out of them boys. You would think you would think that would come from the quarterback position, but it actually starts, at the head coach and the quarterback position. You got to have that sound person on defense. I don't even know who that person is. I mean, you're playing Jadavion, but he had one top. So we got to put it together, man. Just don't go into the game with none of those mistakes. I think the defense did a fairly decent job holding down Chris Olave, who only had 1 reception. The Chargers don't really have a standout wide receiver like that. Right. So if you hold down the rookie that came from Georgia, Ladd McConkey, because he had the most receptions, I think it can be competitive. But if you start to make those turnovers, man, and make bad decisions at the quarterback position, it's going to be a long-ass day like it was last week.
Facts. All right, fellas, we've been talking about getting things going, NFC South. Let's talk about the other side of the daggone everybody else outside of us. So I saw something that was interesting to me. I said these are old school OG moves, in my opinion. CMC, Christian McCaffrey, and Russ not playing last minute decisions that was announced to media that these players are not going to play. For most of us, CMC not playing, it may hurt your fantasy league, but it ain't really hurt nothing else, right? But Russell not playing, didn't hurt y'all, hurt me. That's a different game plan between Russell as a quarterback and Fields as a quarterback. Do you think that was a coaching move, smoke and mirrors, or was that legitimate injuries that they had?
Coaching moves all day. Come on, man. Yeah. We all heard the loud mic, the hot mic, with the San Francisco running back. And I was watching Monday Night Countdown, and they were talking about the game and how Christian was going to have an impact. Then all of a sudden, breaking news, Christian's not playing. They literally was just talking about it, and then they pop over there like he's a no-go. Now I turned around, I said, "Oh, yeah, whatever they got to do to make this close with the Jets." So they think they doing it. So.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, me, I think it's all about storyline. So I think it was a little bit of, coaching decision and smoke and mirrors because guys were anticipating like, hey, these individuals are going to play. You knew kind of like working out during the week, looking at the injury report, these things were there. But every indication for both of those players, they're going to play. But they didn't. I think, particularly in the Pittsburgh game, I think it's a little bit more deeper than that because of the contract that Russ, the inherited contract and stuff, and people wanted to get Justin Fields out there to kind of see what he can do. Same thing, I think, man, that was just all smoke and mirrors. The damn running back, Mason, he came out where they kind of like had to go backtrack. It's like he said, I already knew I was starting.
Yeah, he said Friday he knew.
I already knew I was starting.
Yeah, he said Friday.
So like, come on now.
Why you think his mama was on the sideline? His mama was already on the sideline.
My baby.
I honestly think that they just really wanted to see what Fields was capable of, man.
Yeah, and I think
that was the get that, I guess, dip your foot in the water. Hey, let's see what he got. And if we're working with something, then we'll work with him. But if not, then hey, we're gonna bring Russell back.
Yeah, I think it could have been a little bit of that, but I think it's more if you look at our team last year, history, the way the team is set up, we're not geared to deal with a running quarterback, right?
All right, so I'm gonna try to keep it a buck, as Kool-Aid said. I think they wanted to feel how Atlanta played, and that's why they played Fields.
Facts.
Because of your roster. Seriously,
right.
On paper, your roster looked immaculate.
Right.
I think that's what they wanted to test.
All right. So now,
why are you laughing, Kool-Aid? I want to know.
so keeping with that, right? Y'all heard the announcement that he said today, where Mike Tomlin said we're starting Fields week 2. He already said it. He said because I have to look at who's available, and we have to work with the person that's ready to play, and other things we can't focus our attention on.
Oh yeah.
So do you think that's a shot at Russ? Because Russ has a history of being a prima donna and having some issues, but players talked about it, but so far none of the coaches really talked about him being like that, too tough. But we all know Mike Tomlin is one of those coaches. He just no nonsense kind of dude. He ain't gonna deal with it. So his attitude, the way he said it in the press conference today, had me believing that there's something more going on.
Absolutely.
To the fact that Russ got pissed because he didn't play week 1 when he was ready to play, and he was made to fake an injury to not play last minute. And now he got pissed off about it and said something to Mike Tomlin. And Tomlin said, okay, well, that's how you want to act? Bet. You ain't playing game 2 either, which it should be a game that you want him to play because they're going against Denver.
Yep.
Yeah. And I agree with you, Telly. And like I said, man, I tore my calf muscle. And up to that, I mean, I could feel like a strain. You ain't dressing out with that injury at all. So for him to be dressed out over there and just like, okay, he's your backup, that's bullshit, dog. You're not, because you don't have the mobility at all. So that's why it's like, okay, that was kind of weird. And I agree with you, man. I think it's more behind the scenes that's going on. And to actually say, you know what, you want to run your mouth, Sierra Wilson, Justin is starting.
Sierra.
Justin is starting.
All right. So I can't help it, man. I gotta go. I gotta play it.
My goodies are not my goodies.
His goodies.
Hey, I don't know why we hating on Russ, man. I don't know why.
Hey, man.
We hating on Russ. All Russell doing is being a good father, man.
He's a great dude. I ain't taking that away from him, but it's good content anyway. Hey, all right. So next question is Tyreek Hill video. I know everybody. Corey said he had his piece about it. You guys had just a piece about it. So 1 minute, man. Everybody, Will start out, brother. 1 minute, tell me what you feel about that video.
I think it was a setup. It's just something to give, something to talk about, man. That's how sports is now. Everybody wants attention, and I think that's what it was. The city wanted to wanted to have something to talk about. So what they do? Pull over a brother. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Rich?
All right, I won, and I'm glad Tyreek Hill came out later to say it too. I thought he should have handled the situation a little bit differently, from the simple fact that, man, everybody knows what's been going on with black men across this nation and stuff like that. So don't put yourself in a position, man, where you got people that rely on you that something could potentially go wrong. You can't see in the window at all. It was dark. But the way that they treated him and everything that transpired after that, that was uncalled for. The way you treated Calais Campbell and the other guy, that was totally uncalled for. But be mindful of your situation, man, and know how to handle that thing a little bit differently, because there's people relying on you and knowing what's been happening across this country. Don't put yourself in that situation where another black man's life can be taken for something so minuscule and something so stupid.
Thanks. Big C?
I agree with Rich, man. Never put yourself in a position to have anybody decide what happens to you.
No.
Yeah.
Was it excessive force? Absolutely.
Yeah.
However, he come up to your window, man. Just roll the window down. What we talking about here? Come on. For real?
Yeah.
So as black men, we have to see 10 steps ahead.
Yes.
You got to play the long game, period. So I'm in my mind, I'm like, okay, you're in a Ferrari. The dude, he tell you speak, pull over, whatever. He walk up, you don't even want to let the window down. Like, bro, you got to see. Hey, I already know how bad. What's the worst scenario ending for this?
Yep.
And actually, that's it. So I don't want to get to this. So what am I going to do to prevent me from getting it? Roll the window down, bro.
Yeah.
Roll the window down. Like, okay, you see he talking reckless. The cop talking reckless because he probably think you just another one of them dudes, with money, and you probably got it from stealing, slinging drugs or something. He already don't like you like that. So you see him coming with attitude, you like, okay, in your head, I see what type of time he on. Here you go. Which need? All right. Can you hurry it up, please, sir? Because I'm trying to get to the game. That's all I would have said.
Yep.
That's and it wouldn't have been disrespectful. I'm gonna be like, hey, I really gotta get to the stadium. Can we hurry this up if it's just a traffic stop? And the point of the matter is they let him go. He didn't even get arrested.
Yeah.
So if he didn't get arrested, what is all this for, man?
Right.
Attention.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, see.
Oh, I'm good on it, man.
Yeah. I think for me, that's a perfect example for people that's listening to us talk about this thing. Is if you are a black male, put your pride to the side when you get pulled over.
Absolutely.
Cops are easily losing their control of situations. They're trained to be able to keep a hostile situation calm, but we're seeing more and more when it comes to interacting with us, they're not capable of doing that for whatever reason.
No, they have their lunch money taken in school. That's why.
That's probably what it is. But so because we know that, then we have to do more. Is it bad, or should we not have to do it? No, we shouldn't have to. But in reality, we want to go home at the end of the day. So make sure that we do what we're supposed to do. Listen to these guys. Don't be aggressive or have an aggressive posture against them to give them a reason to try to escalate things to the wrong spot. So that's my take on it. I thought he was wrong for not letting the window down the right way. He started that situation, but the cop was also wrong in the situation for allowing that to escalate. Now, the cop that had the interaction with him was not the cop who escalated it. It's the other cop that did it. So we have to make sure that we don't get something started. Now, if they pop it off, then that's a different story that we take care of different ways.
And one little last bullet I would add, Telly, because I know you have sons. I don't know about Will and Corey. I have sons, and I talk to my sons all the time based off what happened. this is what you should do in these situations. Tyreek Hill has a son. How are you training your son to handle certain things in that situation? He's
preach.
supposed to be a leader. So how would you tell your son to handle that situation? Hopefully not the way that you did it. So you got to be mindful of where you are and don't think that you're above the law at all because you are a celebrity, a football star.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
All right, cool. Great point, fellas. Great point. All right, so last question for today, and then we're gonna roll into the sets. So, injuries. I've seen a lot of soft tissue injuries happen with their players. We got Jordan Love gone for half the season. We got Puka Nacua gone for he on IR list. You got several other players that probably should be on IR list, but they're not going to put them on there. They're just going to have them sit for a couple of weeks, and so on and so forth. Last year we started seeing that, and even more. And now it's again first 2 weeks is always these soft tissue injuries that mess up these star players. My opinion is preseason those guys should play to get those twitched muscles ready for that. All that practice stuff is not getting them ready for a true opponent that's not going to not hit you because you're a star. So what are your thoughts on players, playing preseason, starting quarterbacks and the whole starting teams playing some level of preseason? Is it something they should do or shouldn't do? What's your opinion on that? Rich?
I think
Go ahead.
I think the situation dictates depending on who the player is. If first of all, your strength and conditioning program should be top notch. Y'all or corporations that specialize in strength and conditioning, they training staff should be top notch. So all these injuries, I'd be like, who the damn trainer? Who is what's going on? With all these injuries and stuff. So that should be top notch. If that is top notch, then we go to the players. Like I agree with Telly, you should be playing in the preseason. And I'm gonna give you an example. Aaron Rodgers is supposed to be a bad man, right? Didn't play all the preseason. Should have been out there playing.
And
should have been out there playing. He got 4 new wide receivers. Even though he was there last year, but he added Lazard. They got Mike Williams from the Chargers.
And the Chargers, yeah.
Like Taylor said, you need that impact. You ain't got timing with them, and it showed. Joe Burrow, it showed. A lot of these dudes, man, that got out there, you could tell that they were real rusty. Had you played in the preseason, you wouldn't be that way. So I agree. Preseason is good for certain people. It's good.
Right.
Now, like if you got some Rolls Royces as wide receivers, like Mike don't need to go to preseason. He don't need to play. Them type of players, like why would you pull that Rolls Royce out for them little 4 games? Cause he gonna be good, because the training staff is proven. They was talking about today. I ain't even gonna say that because I'm a jinx. They was talking about today how Mike is, and I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Right. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself.
Because I'll be crying, boy. Ooh, go ahead, Rich.
Rich and Will, y'all got any comments on that?
Well, for me, man, my personal opinion, I think all your first team players or all your first string players should at least one series out in that field. Whether you're a Rolls Royce or a goddamn Pinto, get out there and actually let me see, what you're capable of. So therefore we can actually work on some of the kinks as far as the timing, look at those stuff via the tape and then go from there. It's a business. So I wouldn't actually put too much time of those guys on the field, but at least try to figure out where you were at. An example for us at Carolina Panther, you need Bryce Young out there from a developmental standpoint. He needs to get out there. He needs to get those sets and reps, but we need to do it in a manner where we also protect them as well.
Right. Will?
Yep. I would like to see the first string at least run a couple of plays, and just to see where everybody's at, man, because that's going to be one of the biggest things. You have these kids that's fighting for positions. And then when they fight for positions and they get it, now they got to keep that same momentum. So I would say definitely first string, play them, warm them up, get them stretched out and ready to go for the season. Yes, definitely.
For sure. Yeah, so you had some teams that played their starters more in preseason than other teams, and you saw those teams look more crisp week one. The Steelers was one of those teams. They played their starters more in preseason than a lot of other teams did. And that's just coaching to me. That's season coaching. You understood what was going on. Like,
Hey,
hey, I
kick
need to get ready for this
6
game one.
field goals.
Hey, but
Hey,
look,
a win is a win is a win.
a win is a win is a win. I would have took 6 field goals and a win than one touchdown and a loss. So I'm gonna say right now.
Facts.
Hey, that's because you lost to them 6 field goals, which is even more embarrassing.
It is. But it speaks to my point that my starting quarterback didn't play at all in preseason.
Oh my goodness.
He just like Aaron Rodgers came off the same injury. He should have been playing all preseason, just like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Hey, Telly, let that sink in though. The Steelers played all they starters in the preseason. They came out there and scored 18 points.
Imagine if he took the same doggone mindset that everybody else, what would have happened? We'd be 1-0, I'll tell you that.
Oh man.
At least his defense looked good. I don't know what. So
hey,
right,
is that a record? Hold on. Is that a record?
Hey, I did not mean to laugh that loud.
6 field goals to win a game. And the
It
other
might be.
team,
I don't know.
It might be, man. It's Atlanta. We are everybody making records on us, bro. Trust me. So, all right. Hey, so we got time for a few minutes. So there's 1 minute, man. This is gonna be a session that we're gonna do every podcast. Each person gonna have their own set, and the set is called. This first set is gonna be called Rich's Moment. So, Rich, it's on you.
All right, man. I don't know if you guys saw the news yet or actually heard about, Uncle Luke, aka Uncle Shay Shay, with that audio release. Did you guys hear that, man? Did y'all?
I heard about it. I didn't listen to it. I did hear about it,
man. If that's not the funniest I was thinking, like, man, what the heck is Shannon actually doing, man? And then he mentions like, oh, that's my Michelle. So I was like, is this dude role playing? He think he Barack Obama and that's Michelle? So that actually threw me for a loop, man. So I don't know if you guys actually had the opportunity to hear that, but that's about the funniest thing I heard this week, man. That audio was Shannon Sharp on there.
That was funny.
You listened to the audio? I ain't heard it, man.
Yeah.
Wow. But again, he had to take it there because he ain't had nothing to talk about Carolina.
Hey man, that's his moment. Is whatever he want to share in that moment. It can be anything. So that's Rich's moments. That's Rich's moment. All right. So the next one we gonna keep it a buck. Let's do it.
All right. So keeping it a buck. Man, Derek Carr looked pretty good Sunday. I was a little bit impressed, man. I was like, okay. You know how you got that little gnat flying around your ear, and you're like, you swatting it, like, man, it ain't really bothering you, but it's in your ear, whatever. And I'm sitting here looking, and I was like, man, Carr looking good. Their defense okay, even though it's old. The Falcons gonna be okay, even though I love that they lost. We already know that's not gonna be them. I was like, man, we gonna have to put points on the board. We really gonna have to put points on the board this year. Lo and behold, 30 points, 4 TDs, Baker. It tells me we gonna be a offensive team this year. We're really gonna be able to, it's gonna be gun shootouts that we can actually win. It's gonna happen. So I'm just keeping it a buck with my Bucks. We ready. We ready.
We ready. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, keeping it a buck with the Bucks. All right, will they or won't they?
I think we will. My defense surprised me. Kool-Aid, even though they're old, what he said?
Man, Cam Jordan ain't even gonna make the whole season. Watch.
Okay.
He's gonna be watch. Old ass. I'm surprised he's still out there.
Keep remembering this. anything can happen in sports, and I'm gonna continue saying that anything can happen in sports. So,
Except for the Saints.
hey, look here, Tampa Bay, don't start that trash. Don't start that trash.
All right.
I think we will.
All
I
right.
think
Hey.
we're gonna
Hey, tell it, we will see who we are
yes,
after this week.
this week.
All of
Matter of
us.
fact, we will. All of us.
All of us will.
All of us
So,
will.
All of us will. Yeah, no, real talk. Real talk has said that everything adjusts in week 5. So usually the first few games of the season, the first few weeks of the season, is the offenses are usually a little bit ahead of the defenses. So usually about week 5 going into week 6, defenses have adjusted. They probably pretty much seen most of the schemes you're going to run, and defensive coordinators are caught up with you. So the season truly starts around week 5. So, but we are going to start seeing who teams really are week 2 because these are some great matchups we got going on. All right, for me, my set is tell it like it is, and what I'm going to say is I know what Corey said. I was holding this one for the end because I know. Derek Carr is not that dude. Derek Carr had a great week. I was actually shocked that he didn't throw one interception. I was just shocked that he threw 200 yards passing. I know some nice plays off of some of his passes that led it for him having even 200 yards. But real talk, man, I've watched that dude play when he was in Oakland or the Raiders, and he's inconsistent as hell. So I've watched him miss wide open wide receivers, no pressure on him. His throws are errant. So I'm looking for Derek Carr to be who he is when it comes up. Tell it like it is. Sorry, bro.
Question. Derek Carr or Brock Purdy? Who are you taking?
Neither one of them.
I'm going Carr.
Me too.
Yeah,
I had this discussion with a friend of mine. You know, he was just saying Carr's garbage, and you know he never thrown for 300 yards a game. It's like obviously you didn't watch him when he played up in Oakland, where he was a 4-time Pro Bowler, and he did it multiple times. I think a big part of Carr's problem is indecisiveness at the time and missing wide receivers, like you said, and causing them to lose the game. Also, another thing too,
his mechanics
he played
are
with
bad.
A lot of injuries.
His mechanics are bad.
Yeah,
his mental state.
Watch his footwork.
But look how easy it is for them to get in his head because he started arguing on the field. That's the biggest thing with me is his mental, man.
Right.
Yeah, and
they got in his head. They got in his head, and he was,
I agree with you, Will.
The defensive player. Like, come on, bro. Look, we playing football. Take that trash. Talk about that trash later on. Right now, we got a game to play. So cut that trash out. Seriously.
And you know what?
That's what kind of pissed me off against Carr. When he look, dude, finish. Hey, beat him with your head and not your damn mouth.
Absolutely.
Beat him with your head.
When you actually do a deep dive and look at Carr's numbers in comparison to some of these Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and I was talking to my homeboy about this, in particular Dan Fouts, Derek Carr's a Hall of Famer then.
Right.
If you strictly looking at the numbers.
Right. But it's hard to look at quarterbacks' numbers
in that era,
now compared to back then because offenses are way more explosive, more creative. Athletes are, man, if you take the Carolina Panthers back 10, 15 years, 20 years ago, y'all going to dominate half the team that was probably Super Bowl champion.
If they're high school teams.
No. Y'all players have more power and strength.
Yeah, absolutely. I get you.
And abilities in any of those teams back in those days. Now, some of those teams smash mouth, bush in your damn mouth, but they got to catch you first. There's only two players on the field that was really fast, and they wasn't even fast as the players we have to talk about today. So, you didn't have linemen that was running 4.7s and 4.8s back in those days. They were running 6.2s. They weren't running that fast.
Well, linebackers running 4.3s.
Right. Facts.
So you talking a throwback game, huh? Taking the Carolina Panthers all the way back to the leather helmet so they can win.
I knew you caught that, Corey. He didn't catch it.
Yeah,
He was riding with me. He
Okay.
was riding with me. He just, he just felt
I
right.
was like, yeah, you talking about ain't no lineman running like that, bro. He's like
He fell right into it. He didn't see it coming.
hook,
He didn't see
line,
it.
and sinker. He
All
got
right.
him.
All right, fellas. So we got. It's time for predictions. So get y'all little heads ready. See what we got. All right. I'm gonna go in this order: Rich, Corey, Will, then myself. So first game is Thursday night game: Buffalo against Miami. Who you got?
Miami.
Buffalo.
Hold on. Rich, you said Miami.
I said Miami.
Corey, you got Buff.
Yep.
Will.
Buffalo, bro.
All right. I am going Miami. All right.
Split.
Next game. What's that?
It's a split. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Split. Next game, Vegas against Baltimore. Playing at
Baltimore. I'm gonna go with Baltimore.
Damn. Corey.
Man, come on.
I just checking though. I got Baltimore. All right, Chargers in Carolina.
Carolina, baby. Carolina.
Hey, you better root for your team.
Better root for your team.
Woo.
Anybody else rolling that dice with him?
Hell no, Chargers.
No, you on with that one, bro.
Chargers, baby.
I got early lead there, I see.
All right. New Orleans and Dallas. Saints against Dallas.
Saints, baby.
Ooh. I hope them
Saints.
bitches. Ooh, they need a tie.
What
Hey,
you got, Rich? What you got,
I
Rich?
got Dallas.
All right, Corey.
That blue team.
Oh yeah. All right, I got them stars too, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, what? Okay.
I can't do it. I'm sorry. I told you I don't believe in Derek Carr, bro.
Hey, you ain't even got to pick your own game because if you vote against your team, you don't need to be on here. But go ahead.
All right, so next game, Tampa, Detroit. What you got, Rich?
I'm going Detroit.
Detroit it is.
Ooh.
Show and prove. You got to show and prove. Now, y'all get through Detroit.
There's too many injuries on Tampa Bay.
I'm a ride with Corey, man. I'm gonna say Tampa. Let me see what y'all got. Reverse psychology 1.
I love it. I was just about to say this motherfucker done set us up, man. We don't need that 28-3 look. We don't need that 28-3 look.
Man, I'm riding with y'all, man. Let's do it, Bucks. Get them Bucks. All right,
As he wrote down Lions.
All right, we got a minute and a half. Indy, Green Bay.
Indy.
Oh, Indy.
Yeah.
Indy. Green Bay in trouble. Everybody, we all know it. They in trouble.
Yep.
Cleveland against Jacks.
Jacks.
I'm gonna say Cleveland bounce back.
All right, Corey.
Jacksonville.
I'm riding without the Browns. I'm riding with the Browns.
All right, I'm on Jack's team this year. I think they had a tough loss. They'll bounce
Trevor
back.
Lawrence.
49ers, Minnesota.
49ers.
I want Minnesota. My cousin. Minnesota.
All right.
Minnesota.
What you got, Corey?
What we playing at?
They playing in Minnesota.
I'm riding with Minnesota. Let's go, Sam Darnold. Let's go.
Facts. Seattle, New England. They're playing
Seattle.
New England.
I'm going with Seattle.
Seattle. Gino looked good.
All right, Seattle all the way. Jets to Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Jets.
Nope.
Corey.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Tennessee.
Y'all Will Levis believers?
Y'all seen? I was just about to say that. Y'all see that boy play?
Yeah,
I'm the rest of the team believers. I think the Jets go 0-2. They not. I think they go 0-2.
And you know what? I'm a caveat off of that. Every time Aaron Rodgers threw a ball to one of his receivers and they dropped it, he went to his little zone. And he also throws his wide receivers out of it too.
He always do that though.
Yeah, but he throw them out of their mindset.
Yeah. So Giants, Washington.
Commanders.
Shit. I'm going with
Commanders.
Commanders.
Jaden
I'm going
Daniels
with
bounce back game.
Yeah, as long
Daniel
as Daniel
Jones.
Jones your quarterback.
Yeah, Rams, Arizona.
I'm going with Mighty Mouse.
AZ,
Yep.
Corey,
AZ. Yeah.
Will.
Rams.
I'm Rams too. Pittsburgh, Denver.
What are you playing?
Denver.
Shit.
I'm gonna give Bo Nix a chance. I'm gonna go with Denver.
I'm going to Pitt. I'm gonna go with
Pittsburgh.
Pitt.
Pittsburgh.
You know why I'm going with Pitt? Because I can't stand Denver.
Man, Pittsburgh
Elway.
defense. Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pitt.
Mhm.
Pitt for me too.
Pitt. I'm going to Pitt.
Man. Cincinnati, Kansas City,
Ooh.
and Kansas City.
KC.
KC.
By a long shot.
Yeah, KC.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick Cincinnati.
The Burrows jinx on Mahomes is about to end Sunday.
It's coming back. Chicago, Houston. They're playing in Houston.
Houston. I'll say Houston.
The battle of number ones. What you got, Corey?
Battle of the number ones.
Yep. Number one drafted quarterback. When CJ
No,
Stroud.
CJ didn't get draft number 1. He got drafted number 2.
Okay.
I really picked Houston. I thought
you pick it. Oh my bad.
yeah,
All right,
Houston. H-Town.
Atlanta and Philly, Monday Night Football.
I gotta go with Philly.
I feel that.
Philly.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Philly. Frodo.
Hey man.
You
Hey,
already
Y'all gotta
know.
prove. Y'all gotta prove, man. Y'all gotta prove something.
For sure. All right. Picks are in. Everybody voted for their team, obviously, as you should.
Yep.
We got some potential upsets there, so we're gonna see what it do. All right, fellas. Week 2.
Yeah.
Look.
Woo! I love it.
Stay tuned. All right.
Stay tuned.
All right, fellas.
Keep
Be
the
good.
energy. Keep the energy.